He hasn't been flying for club or country, and he's a key man for them. And then for Portugal, 6 changes for a team that's already qualified. Dalot comes in, and that perhaps shifts Cancelo to the left-hand side because he's comfortable on both. Dalot and Cancelo, like the South Korean side, like to get forward in advanced positions. But I think the importance of Ruben Neves' highlight is he retains a spot despite sitting on a yellow. And then, of course, if Cristiano Ronaldo wants to play, Cristiano Ronaldo gets to play. First man to score in 5 World Cups, and he wants to keep that rhythm going.
Difficult task for South Korea. Just 1 victory in their last 11 World Cup games. That came against Germany in Russia 4 years ago. Only twice have they managed to successfully get out of a group. They were maybe a bit unlucky to lose to Ghana. Portugal the favourites, you would imagine. Although, as Ali said, it's a greatly altered Portuguese team with 6 changes in all. And away they go. South Korea versus Portugal, 20 years on from their meeting at the 2002 World Cup in Incheon. Part of what was a remarkable Korean narrative. They beat Luis Figo, Pauleta and Paulo Bento 1-0 en route to reaching the semi-finals. Paulo Bento now the coach of South Korea, but serving a touchline ban after being overzealous with his protestations to English referee Anthony Taylor over the timing of the final whistle in the Ghana game. So his right-hand man, Sergio Costa, is the man who will be making the decisions from the technical area. Great to have the pleasure of your company at South Korea, all in red. And attacking the goal to our right in this first half. Kim Sung-kyu is the goalkeeper. 3 defenders in front of him by the name of Kim. Kim Young-kwon is the central defender. They have changed their style a bit, it's fair to say, South Korea, under Paulo Bento. An unexpected space there. And we're going to be talking a lot about Son on the ball now, wearing the protective carbon mask, legacy of a fractured eye socket. And the whistle is sounded. Free kick will go to Portugal. Ali, what are you expecting tonight?
Well, you already saw a little bit of it from South Korea, and that's that Son has a free roll. So he's starting on that left-hand side, but he has license to roam the pitch. He ends up darting across to this right-hand side. And with this Korean team, they have the ability in their counter press to turn Portugal over in advanced areas. They're very quick in transition, but both teams setting up similarly in their defensive shape. It's a 75 line of confrontation, so just above that center circle with 1 player initially, and to just try to dictate proceedings, forcing the opposition into one half of the field. And then that likely springs into attack, or springs the team into defense.
19-year-old Antonio Silva operating in central defence for Portugal and playing alongside 39-year-old Pep, to use the Portuguese pronunciation. There he is. Pepe, as it was said when he was in Brazil, hails from Brazil, but for a long time now being a Portuguese citizen. Vitinha, the diminutive midfielder, getting the start as well. Understandable that Fernando Santos would want to make wholesale changes with the hard work already done in this group.
And Vitinha is a player I'm interested to see as he gets on it right now. Had a good start to the season with PSG, a player that can go box to box, incredibly comfortable on it, but also has the ability to pick a pass in that final third. Good engine.
Dalot is the right back of choice, with João Cancelo switching over to the left. There he is, Sergio Costa, the man of the technical area for South Korea. 2002, the last meeting. They happened to be at it. It was a very emotional occasion. It's a terrific experience following South Korea.
Has there been a game that you haven't been to?
There have been a few, yeah. But I was with South Korea, the Reds, on home soil in 2002 quite a bit. That should be relatively straightforward, yeah, for Kim. Fernando Santos cuts very much a grandfatherly figure, doesn't he? Can't argue with the success he's enjoyed as coach of Portugal. Guided them to victory at the Euros in 2016. everybody enjoys the style of football that he favours.
But they've been more attacking in this World Cup, and I think that's a credit to the talent that they do have in that front six. And I do think that's part of the reason that we've seen a Portuguese team that loses control in moments and phases of a game.
Jung with that long speculative ball.
So I'll take it as a neutral.
Getting high up the pitch was Kim Moon-Hwan, the right back. Paulo Bento looking on.
And you'll see that from South Korea. Wingers that will invert, and that gives us space for those outside backs to get forward.
Marcelo, certainly very capable of playing on the left-hand side of the defence. The extent to which the Koreans have dropped off, and there's Pep, and that was an excellent pass. Really got to give him massive credit for what he produced, and on the back foot already, and a goal for Portugal. Ricardo Horta, highly opportunistic. Just the start Portugal were hoping for. Even with the coach looking on from the stands, South Korea's. Well, they've got to try to lift themselves out, the Koreans here.
And they have to be aware on that right-hand side, Dalit getting forward. He was in a wide position, and they're overloading it, right? You see the occupation of that left back with the initial player, and that gives the space down the channel in the wide area for Dalit to get forward. And now he just rinses off his defender. I mean, that's too easy. And then you get the cutback ball. Two players coming into that near post. Of course, if you're first to arrive in the box, you've got to pick up that near post slot and open things up for the other players. But the connection is on as he's got the step in front of his man, and Ricardo Horta just slots that one in. Player that's only had one goal in club gets on an early start here.
In the international wilderness for 8 years, Ricardo Horta. Son and company are really going to have to do this the difficult way. I mentioned Paulo Bento able to affect the game from the technical area, but maybe they can. Some questions of Portugal here. Lee Jae-sung, who was able to get forward, added to the equation. Plays for Mainz in the Bundesliga in Germany. What a pass that was by the 39-year-old. Pep from the back with Dalot released on the right, and Horta did the rest, Ali.
Yeah, and the reality is that that space was wide open, and South Korea is holding that high line, and they're going to continue to look for that. We'll see if that makes Son drop into a lower position to track those wingbacks pushing forward. And that's sometimes the cat and mouse game that you have to play. If you do have outside backs that go, can you pin in the opposition's most influential player, in this case, in Heung-min Son?
Portugal trying to make it 3 wins out of 3. Horta, target right at the start of this game. Goal was there, but thinking over was the right back, Kim Moon-Hwan. Here's the left full back now, Kim Jin-soo, and it's almost on there for Son.
And South Korea is holding nothing back. Sergio Costa looks on. In terms of when they do get into that attacking third, they're just keeping back 2 center backs, and we've seen them hold 2 center mids back as well sometimes, but now they're pushing into higher positions because they know they've got to get something out of this game.
Of course, we will be keeping an eye on the other match in the group, Ghana against Uruguay. It's on FS1. Regular updates from there. 9 minutes on the clock, I'm told, and no scoring in that match. Here again is Kim Moon-Hwan. Lung-bursting run was made by Lee Jae-sung. It's in there again by Kim Moon-Hwan. 2 Lees drafted in for South Korea. Lee Kang-in, Jae-sung, and same pair of hands, Diogo Costa for Portugal. Certainly in the conversation when it comes to teams that could win the World Cup.
And just think to some of the teams that had already qualified and rotated their squads, and they didn't look to be the same team. France, for instance, a lot of changes in their match, and they ended up losing to Tunisia.
Monta's goal, the difference, and watch.
Oh, this is beautiful. Look at it. You can just see the width. Player hugging that touch line, and that it provides the space for him to just pillow that down, that first touch, and then eliminate the defender. 2 runs colliding at that near post, so it just pick one out. And it's Horta in the end.
Not wasting any time at all. Nice Seleção. Not exactly what Kim Seung-kyu wanted to see unfold. Joy for the Portuguese fans. Son and company. Now they've really got to try to respond. Cameroon taking on Brazil later today on Fox at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Serbia, Switzerland is on FS1. Coverage at noon Eastern on that channel. Brazil flawless so far. It's as though that Serbia-Switzerland game will be crucial in terms of the other team to come out of that group. Will be of interest, of course, to Portugal. They did go on to win this section and certainly favoured to do so now. They'll be up against the runners-up in that Brazil group, Ali. Followed by Jung. The direction of Son.
And you'll see some of that with Cho popping off that back line and then Son trying to threaten him behind.
Antonio Silva. The experience for him, playing alongside someone who's more than twice his age. Doesn't happen too often. Vitinha was showing for it. Another interesting inclusion. Mateus Nunes for Portugal. Look at the live table. At the moment it would be Portugal and Ghana going through. Uruguay, of course, have the power to change things. South Korea know they have to win this game at a minimum to entertain hopes of progressing. Best scenario for them with the narrow victory, coupled with a narrow win for Uruguay in that other game. Pep once again. Perfection in terms of the pass once again, but it's too long and too strong off the boot of João Cancelo.
And a couple of these early services from Pep. Look at all that space in behind the back line of South Korea. They're just squeezing it high to make the space between the lines smaller. And so you're going to want to hit these diagonals to just try to open up some gaps. But the ensuing pass fails.
João Mario tried to cut open the South Korean defence. Looking for a bit of flow there by men in red. Kim Moon-hwan again trying to advance on the right. Again, low pressure from South Korea, just allowing Portugal to pass it around in this fashion from the back. It really had cause to mention Cristiano Ronaldo so far.
He'll make certain that doesn't hold.
If he does score,
there he goes.
He'll pull level with Eusebio in terms of goals all time for Portugal, individual goals by a Portuguese player at the World Cup.
And Derek, I'm just keying in on his movement. He's running along that back line at times, looking to get in behind, and the timing just has to be right for him to be released.
Again, Cancelo, and there's Antonio Silva, well aware of the presence of Cho. Has become quite the star. You might have heard Jeff Shreves talking earlier about his Instagram followers. Really shot up. And here's Cancelo now. The defenders retreat. Supply the accurate ball. Well, it's a mazy run and pushed away by Kim in goal for South Korea. Antonio Silva trying for it this time. Ruben Neves, captain of Wolves, who are bottom of the table in the Premier League in England. Took over the captaincy from Conor Cody. So he departed on loan to Everton.
And if you had any questions about the importance of the fullbacks in Portugal's system, here's a good look at it. João Cancelo on the left in this match and Dalot on the right provided the opening assist, and then Cancelo's ability just to go to work in the attacking third, incredibly important. And they're going to continue to play those diagonals because you've got a narrow South Korean defense that is going to shift once you do pull over that unit onto one side, and they're going to try to release the opposite.
Sung, who fed it back that time for South Korea. Jung is the anchor man in midfield. Intelligent use of the ball. They will try to get Son involved whenever they can. Together with Hwang in midfield. Fulcrum-type players. And here is Son. And that was nicely worked.
Oh, such a good ball.
Lee Kang in.
And just patient in positioning Son is. He's just holding that width. And then you can see it's number 24 for Portugal, Silva, that's keeping him on side.
Son, a man with the mask. A few of the Korean fans here also wearing masks in honor of the hero. Lee Kang in, quite the clamour for him to be selected. And there's the glancing header. Is it going to be stepped over the line? Yes, but it won't count. Not the left back was there. Kim Jin-soo. Offside though.
And South Korea will do this. They'll draw different set pieces, look to go short, change the angle. But it's show that they're after. You can see he gets that near post. He often picks up that position. It's just going to be a glancing header. And then at the back post, you got two players just biting on it, but they get in behind the back line. It looks like too early. After it comes off, the deflection, and then just trying to clean it up.
So no goal for Kim Jin-soo. He's only ever netted twice at international level. This is 64th appearance for South Korea. Well, Mario made the move towards the ball, but dealt with there by Kyung-won. A bit more animated now. Fernando Santos. Let's say at the start of the tournament, Portugal should have the ambition to win the World Cup. Earlier, Eusebio, what a terrific player he was, and what a great team they were back in 1966. They faced North Korea, that World Cup in England, one of the classic matches. Fell 3-0 behind, but had the wherewithal to come back and win. Free kick here to South Korea. Seno just trotting away after the challenge on Lee Jae-sung. Across the defence, passed by Kwon. Young Kwon, his defensive partner. Sadly, no Kim Min-jae, actually the defensive leader, and who plays his club football for Napoli in Serie A in Italy. South Korea chasing this game. Early concession, a goal by Ricardo Horta. Forward by Kim in goal for the Koreans. The man most people have been talking about ahead of this game. Being linked with a possible move to Saudi Arabia, but he's all business in terms of playing for Portugal. Again is Kim Jin-soo. By Jung. But Son. Fruitless chase. Ali, you watch him a lot. Playing for Tottenham.
I do.
Your team, I think.
It is.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. You are. It just gives me pause. But doing well this season so far. But Son has not been in his best form. And more attacking options up top for the Spurs than we've ever had. But some injuries along the way.
Hearing that Ghana have been awarded a penalty against Uruguay. One 0 to Portugal here. Really is an uphill climb for South Korea. 10th successive participation at the World Cup. Hearing that penalty opportunity has been squandered. We'll come back to it just a second. It's with Son. South Korea with Portugal having dropped off. Lee Kang-in. Kim Jin-soo. And rising was Pep. Andre Ayew, the penalty taker for Ghana in that other game, but failing to convert from the spot. 0-0 it remains. 1-0 here to Portugal. It was tense, these simultaneous matches at the end of the group stage. Not hanging around at this World Cup. The knockout phase starts tomorrow. Son plays it back to Kim Jin-soo.
And this is what South Korea will do. They'll try to overload one area and progress through that zone if they can, especially on Son's side. That left-hand side is where South Korea usually likes to penetrate. Saw 2 goals from there against Ghana. And when that happens, just keep your eye on number 9, Cho, in the box. His movement's incredibly bright. He times it well.
There is Son. How high up Kim Jin-soo is. Gone all the way into the box. Doing a bit of burrowing here, Son. Towards Cristiano Ronaldo. But an header, though, from Kwon. Antonio Silva. With Pep will turn 40 in February.
That always blows my mind.
I know.
There's no way I could have kept playing at 40.
You'd have been better than most of us, Ali.
Well, you maybe.
Yeah, you would have. I can confirm that, you would have. Yeah, but Dalot made that very productive run earlier to get on the end of the Pep raking pass. But there's Nunes, and could have gone anywhere. It was Kwon who reached the ball with Ronaldo lurking.
And it's such a good ball. You see all that space develops because they've dragged 3 South Koreans into that deeper end. And then Ronaldo just hounding in between 2 players. And Kwon knows he's got to get something on that because he senses Ronaldo in behind him.
Can't take your eyes off Ronaldo, even for a fleeting moment. Yes, he can be polarizing in many respects, but tremendous respect for his footballing ability. Oh, that was particularly clever, was it, from Dalot? Got away with it. Portugal, you might say, have earned the right to make all these changes to this final game in the group a bit differently. Already with the advantage. Goal by Ricardo Horta if you've just come in. João Cancelo. He's being hounded there by Jung Woo-young. Succeeded Lee Sung-young in that central midfield position. Sergio Costa is the coach on duty, I think we can call him that, for South Korea. Of course, Portuguese. Paulo Bento did when he took over the reins, brought in many of his fellow countrymen, various roles. Often happens. International football. Kim Moon-hwan showing for it. Jung. Kim Jin-soo. Again with Jung Woo-young. He plays his club football here in Doha for Ased. Successful club in the history of the Qatar Stars League. Son. You're almost allowing South Korea to pass it around in these sectors of the pitch. Trying to win it back, but illegally on that occasion, Mateusz Nunes.
Yeah, it's only when it gets into those wider areas where they do try to just tighten up the pressure as Nunes bears down on Lee King-in. And this was a player that came off the bench for South Korea and was a spark. And good to see him get the start again. A young player at that, just 21 years old from Mallorca.
I'm hearing that Uruguay have scored in the other game. We'll come back to that. Free kick for South Korea. It's played in by Lee Kang-in. Pepper and others having to react.
And he'll continue to be that target. 2 goals with his head against Ghana. Really good timing in the air. And we'll see if he continues to make that near post run.
Here comes the corner, and it bubbles around, and that is just what South Korea needed. Kim Young-won, the equalizer. Still there is hope.
And Portugal had to know this was coming, because this is how South Korea has played so many of their corners. Cho will dart off into that near post zone. And you see him start the penalty spot. Now he gets the near post zone. He doesn't make a play on it, but he makes the Portuguese defenders miss it. That's the most important piece. And now you got traffic in behind. The deflection comes, and in this case, it's a gift to Kim Young-won, and he slots that one home. Off the back of Cristiano Ronaldo, but in the net for Kim Young-won. Well timed, tap volley, just stays over it as he's falling to the ground. That's a difficult skill as Diogo Costa is just coming off of his line, bearing down on him.
And the man who netted against Germany in 2018, he's done it here against Portugal. Questions being asked by Ronaldo and a few others. 1-1 here, just on the back of that Uruguay goal in the other game. Georgian de Arrascaeta putting the Uruguayans in front. As I said earlier,
it gets wild.
Yeah, a 1-goal margin for South Korea if they could win this game, and a 1-0 margin in terms of a victory for Uruguay, and South Korea would be going through. But at the moment, it's Portugal and Uruguay in that order. South Korea need another one, and they would need that Uruguay score to stay as it is. A lot can happen. We keep saying that on these final days and nights in the group stage, but it's a bit of a jolt to the Portuguese system. I said earlier, they'd almost been inviting South Korea onto them.
And they'll have a tendency to do that. I mean, this is a Portuguese team that will pick up in mid-block defending and be comfortable in some of those lower blocks because they are so good in transition, and that gives them the space in behind to attack. But we've seen it from South Korea. This team is well structured, and especially in those wide channels, how do they try to break down the opposition? They force the corner kick.
Vitinha, right-sized midfield player, Ruben Neves. Getting the call again. Slightly surprising, considering he is on a yellow card. Somebody that Portugal will certainly want for the knockout stages. Here's Ronaldo, he's in, and no! Offside in any case. All happened in a blink of an eye. Ronaldo had just strayed.
And just look, not getting back on side, lazy. We see this all the time. And he thinks he's got a gift. But Kim makes a save in the end. He's in behind the back line and just trying to feather that one in with the outside of his right boot.
Penalty goal in the first match against Ghana. He thought he had a goal against Uruguay as well. Didn't come off it. Here's Son. And, well, he went down. No free kick forthcoming. Shot was by Hwang, just behind him. Seeing some effective football from South Korea.
That space is there, yeah.
Kim Jin-soo, it's been on quite a lot on that left-hand side for Kim Jin-soo of Gyeongbuk Hyundai. Have a spell in Germany playing for Hoffenheim. Brought to the club by Lutz Pfannenstiel, their esteemed international scout back then, now working for St. Louis City SC in Major League Soccer. The sporting director, put on by Cho. He's an effective leader of the line. He's got Instagram followers aplenty. He did think about working in the fashion industry. Certainly,
I think he chose wisely.
yeah, but he has picked up a lot of new fans the last week or so. Ronaldo back the way. Vitinha was there, and now with Dalot. Has been a second goal. The Arrascaeta for Uruguay. A few of us felt it was only a matter of time before they found an attacking gear. And things looking bleak for Ghana in that other match. And Ronaldo has made that run. Being tracked by Kwon.
This is a good look at how they spread the center backs in their build out, and they utilize their goalkeeper Kim to be just a third playmaker, because these two players want to get on it in the center midfield. Jung and Hwang In-bom, they're the ones that'll pull the strings in midfield.
Mateus Nunes was there in the centre of midfield. It's João Mario making the run. Featured in all the matches in 2016 when they won the Euro. Let's go back in time. Just a few minutes, Sally.
Yeah, Cho goes to that near post and again comes off the back of Ronaldo. I wonder if he'll claim that as an assist. He wanted the goal the other night.
I think he'll be remotely interested. It's again cushioned by João Mario. The live table. It is still doable for South Korea. They didn't really want was Ghana winning that match. Uruguay win would give them hope. As things stand, it's Portugal and Uruguay going through in that order. Runners-up in this section, likely to face Brazil. Trying to get bodies back and appealing for offside there, as the save is made by Kim. And it was Dalot who had gone all the way into the centre of the pitch. Corner.
And I said it before the game kicked off, Dalot had some recent moments for Portugal, getting it high up on the pitch, 2 goals in Nations League, and there he is, just taking that one down out of the air, and no one steps up to him quick enough, so he releases the shot. Just a wicked left foot, trying to curve that into the far post, and really quickly gets down Kim to parry that one out.
Well, Mario with it for Portugal. Vitinha strikes it. Could have been a difficult bounce for Kim Sung-kyu.
Yeah, you think he's just going to tag this one real clean. Swipes across it, and that takes off some of the pace as it just dips down for Kim.
We were going through this time and again last night, weren't we? One goal can change everything, and at the moment, if South Korea were able to find a goal on the live table, they would be ahead of Uruguay. That's how wafer thin the margins can be. Even though they might be bringing up the rear at the moment. They can have the same goal difference, but scored more goals. Uruguay hadn't scored it. Fully committed, though, the Korean players. Vitinha tried to come away with it. There is a yellow card for Lee Kang-in.
Well, part of the way South Korea plays is in this counter press, and he gets the ball. But that's just not enough these days. If you go through the player as well, you'll get the foul, you'll get the card.
1-1 here. Portugal striking first through Ricardo Horta. That goal cancelled out by Kim Young-won. And don't forget the USA opening up the knockout stages against the Netherlands, against the Oranje in the round of 16. It's on Fox tomorrow. Coverage from 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Dalot, he's been venturing forward with aplomb. Ronaldo was arriving on the scene for Portugal.
What a ball.
Here's Pepe. Antonio Silva, who plays for Benfica, hails from Viseu. Out of the Benfica youth ranks. Great club in the capital, Lisbon.
And it's just been smart from Portugal in sending Dalot down that right-hand side, because the last thing that South Korea wants to do is have Son tie into that back line and do that defensive work. And it's just creating that advantage.
A lovely little lead that was by Vitinha and Ronaldo. And it was almost ideal. Horta went after it. That was quick and slick. Whistle's gone, though.
Well, here's a look at the central penetration. Just the quick layoff. The movement for Vitinha is world class. Just spins and gets on the other end of his defender, and then they're just trying to slide this one in behind for Horta, but eager on the play and sends down Kim Jin-soo.
Ronaldo Horta finding the net earlier for Portugal. Try to make it a 100% record in the group stage, but of course South Korea have their own views on that subject. Kim Young-won, 99th international appearance with the leveller, for the disappointment of Fernando Santos. Paulo Bento, former Portuguese international, the coach of South Korea, but having to watch from the stand. Having a touchline ban, the legacy of an argument that he got into with English referee Anthony Taylor. The end of that last game over the timing of the final whistle. But it was an injustice, said his bit, and has paid the price. Lee Kang-in, who does give them energy and good technical play. What to like about this South Korean side? Stepping forward, Kim Moon-hwan. Spent the early part of his career as an attacking player.
And you can see it. He wants to get forward on this near side. Just like on the opposite side with Kim Jin-soo.
One fairly unremarkable season with LAFC. Idolizing Park Ji-sung. He's here tonight. The teams from the Asian Football Confederation putting themselves very well at this World Cup. Full credit to Japan. Forget about Australia either. Here's Son lining up the shots. Well, that was all his own work. Held by Diogo Costa. Portugal tried to play their way forward. This often meant Dalot in this first half. Switch of play. João Mario. Vitinha. Now Ruben Neves. Portuguese team without Bruno Fernandes. This on a yellow card. It's a logical explanation for his omission. And too much height on that one. So fell for Mateus Nunes.
And you could say that Portugal is missing Bruno Fernandes, his ability between the lines. Because right now Korea has been setting up defensively in just a 4-5-1, and there is space in there. It's tight space, but players like Bruno Fernandes can get on it and get on the half turn and create something.
To repeat, as things stand, Portugal would win this group. Uruguay would go through as runners-up. Ghana would be out, South Korea would be out. A goal for South Korea, and everything would change in a flash. Times Horta has been drifting on the flank. Here it comes, Vitinha teeing it up, and oh, it's just wide as it came out to Cristiano Ronaldo.
But a moment of inspiration for Vitinha. Poor miscue at the back for the clearance from Jung Woo-young.
3 minutes to go to half-time.
It's been a fast half.
That's flown by. Portugal well represented in the crowd here. Education City. The Pep gives it to Dalot.
Then you heard in studio Maurice Adu just talk about how South Korea had to pick their moment and have some patience. Yes, they need to push for a result, but they can't go pressing high up the pitch at all moments. And I think this first half has gone well for them. They're going to build some confidence out of it. Certainly created some problems for Portugal.
Looking for the quick ball win there. Lee Kang-in.
Oh, Dalot was on with the early ball, but now he's got to receive it to his feet.
Dalot for Ruben Neves. Well, Ronaldo has gone all the way back into that deeper position to collect it. Now wants to receive it from Dalot. Cristiano Ronaldo doing his best to manoeuvre his way into position. Away by Kim Jin-soo, who's been busy in an attacking sense and defensively. Portugal try again. Vitinha.
Look at those feet.
Lovely skill in a tight space. And Horta couldn't quite take advantage of the opportunity.
Oh, and he certainly should have, but look at that, 3 players. Just goes right through them, and now you get the cutback ball again. That's been on for Portugal, because you see the South Koreans, they're so worried about that ball in behind for Cristiano Ronaldo, who's just going to hunt that back line, that you've got that space in behind. And luckily, that doesn't take a deflection. off of Kim Jong-won, because that would have been a difficult one for Kim to react to.
Kim Jin-soo, childhood friend of Son Heung-min. There's a sticky early evening here in Doha. First half ebbing away. For Rob Stone on the team, we'll pick it up at half-time. Bring you up to date with what's happening in the other match in this group between Ghana and Uruguay. A very fruitful first half for the Uruguayans. 2-0 in front at last check. 1-1 here. Portugal and Uruguay stand to go through in that order. We will have a minimum of 2 added minutes. Really had to mention the referee out there on the pitch, Facundo Tejo from Argentina. Recently handed out 10 red cards in one game in the Argentinian Super Cup confrontation between Boca and Racing. There's Pep with the header away. It's going to be quite an easy first half for Facundo Tejo here. It's been competitive though. Full credit to both sides for that. And just missed out Cho. It was a good idea. Sent in by Hwang.
And all eyes for Cho. There he is, just sitting on the back shoulder of the center back. And it's actually Ruben Neves, I believe, that he gets a step on. He's the one responsible for marking him because the center backs have been drawn out. So he's got that height advantage, but just times that jump wrong. And then you can't get that glancing touch in at the back post for Lee King-in.
I think plenty to admire about this South Korea performance.
Absolutely.
Been a good game. Very watchable. Now Ronaldo. Going to burst through. And, well, they'll want the corner, which they have succeeded in winning. Horta appealing straight away. João Mario going over to the corner flag. Pep is up from the back, so is Antonio Silva. Well, Mario missed. Pep did make the leap. Vitinha to play on that well-timed ball. It was instant control. Got to give him credit for that. Mateusz Nunes. Son away. That might be it for the first half. And indeed, there goes the whistle for half-time. Very entertaining. Horta with the early goal for Portugal.
The 2022 FIFA World Cup halftime show on Fox is presented by Verizon. Portugal and South Korea level at the break. As things currently stand, it's Portugal securing the top spot in Group H, which likely means avoiding Brazil in the round of 16. South Korea, at the moment, crashing out of this tournament. The Koreans coming up a little bit short in their first bid for a first knockout stage appearance since 2010, but they're only halfway through. Highlights from both Group H matches coming up next.
Ah, humbug. My signal is totally ghosting me.
You need
Adi, what are you looking for in the second half?
Well, look, this is a South Korean team that has been bright in second half of play. They had both goals against Ghana in the second half, and I think that when you look at the way they go about their business, they can fatigue the opposition. And that's when they start to find some more space in the second half.
So that situation. It'll be interesting to see what Fernando Santos does on the personnel front. The extent to which he wants to change the team, freshen things up, give other players a game. About tuning up now for the round of 16. Portugal guaranteed to be there, but would like to win the group. Pep mixing out the midfield area. Ronaldo was there. Offside is the decision.
And we've seen this a couple times. They'll pick up adjacent defenders. In this case, it's Cristiano Ronaldo that gets called for the offside.
Delighted you've chosen to join us. We do have Jeff Shreves pitch side in case you need any updates from down there.
Front row seats for him down there.
Always. Looked forward by Ruben Neves. Quite the goal scorer down the years for Wolves, but never for the national team. Ruben Neves. 8 goals at club level. Jump there by Cho. We will be showing you regularly the live table. That's how it looks at the moment. Portugal go through as the group winners. Uruguay in second place, possibly facing Brazil. Quite the game that would be. Historical significance. South Korea, all those permutations, but in simple terms at the moment, if they could just find one more goal, they score weren't to change in the Ghana-Uruguay match. And that would be their passport, South Korea's passport, into the knockout stages.
And just a little thing to that point, if it holds true, is Son has flipped over to that right-hand side. Yep. So he's not going to have to be as responsible for dealing with Dalot that had been getting a lot of space on this near-hand side. Of course, Cancelo likes to advance as well, but it was a lot of the attack was flowing through Dalot.
Again, Cancelo high up the pitch. Ruben Neves. Pep. Mateus Nunes. Like Pep, born in Brazil. In Rio till he was 13. Naturalized Portuguese citizens both. Korea have changed their style a bit under Paulo Bento. Used to have that ferocious chasing style. Just wanted them to play more of a studied game. Not all that studied, was it? The clearance by Kim Seung-hyu in goal. Good chance here for Portugal with Ronaldo waiting in the centre. It's Cho with a header. Again, they try to snap onto it. Horta. A pass. Is there a way through? João Mario received it from João Cancelo. Hwang In-byum had gone over there to try to deal with the threat. Portugal's second half performance against Ghana, we covered that game. Pretty impressive, but they also had their shaky moments defensively. It's a bit too adventurous, I think, for the liking of Fernando Santos.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Because they kept pushing for goals, they kept pushing to get into that attacking third quickly, and they lost control of the match in phases, just in transition to transition. And you hope, if you're South Korea, that they continue to do that tonight and lose their way a bit. But I do think that's one of the reasons that Neves continued to hold his starting position. He's one of those players that can really deal well in transition with the counterattack. His positioning is so important, and we saw it against Uruguay. When he was out, things opened up for Uruguay in those central areas.
Might open up here for Ronaldo and Portugal. Distinctive running style of his. Played in by Mateus Nunes. Ruben Neves. Right on top of him was Cho. Cancelo and João Mario working together on the Portuguese left. No, Joao Felix in the starting 11. The others on a yellow card.
This would be a game for him, though.
It would.
A player that's just so good in tight spaces, and you're seeing a bit of it now. Very, very limited green in between that back line and the midfield line.
There's absolutely no point taking a chance on a player who is carrying a yellow card. Kind of thing that can really blot a coach's copybook.
And you're certain that that conversation was had with Ruben Neves. You cannot afford to take a yellow. You can concede a goal, don't take the yellow.
We are quite a bit ahead of the other match. They've only just kicked off that Ghana-Uruguay game, which is on FS1. Vitinha, look at the space afforded Ronaldo, but he didn't get hold of it. Offside. That's the decision on the pitch.
But still not clean from Cristiano Ronaldo. It's really good movement, though. Just sitting in behind that defender and then darts in at the last second, and that's a tight call.
Yeah. We almost have to wait. The ball. Kim Jin-soo for South Korea. Here's the hard-working Cho. Can he supply the accurate ball for Son? Great teamwork here. It's almost fell kindly for Lee Jae-sung. Two players down. Korea's just stopped the play. Porta and Lee. This is what happened.
Yeah, it was Lee Jae-sung that was trying to search forward and release that far side. He comes on and tries to make the play on Cancelo. That's where he picks up his knock. João Cancelo, a nice little spin turn just to relieve that pressure. You can see Lee Jae-sung gets a step in there, or to toe, and then he gets stomped on by Cancelo's right boot.
So a little pause. Well, treatment is administered to Porta. The plays for Braga in the north of Portugal. He's been there since 2016. Great start for Porta and Portugal tonight. Then South Korea were to bite back through Kim Young-kwon. The Korean fans certainly enjoyed the moment. Another cry, the 2002 World Cup, the chant, which you could hear everywhere. Dae Han Ming Kuk. Heard it at all hours of the day and night. Just means Korea Republic. But they said it with such emotion. Seemed to be very happy when people who clearly weren't from Korea would join in and watch the games on the big screen and actively support South Korea, as many of us did. Wonderful experience, that World Cup. One of my favourites. Of course, they beat Portugal. The group stage en route to the semi-final. He lost to Germany. 1-1 here. Not good enough at the moment for South Korea to make it through. Portugal already in the knockout stages. There's Dalot. They play the telling ball in. It's away the nick of time.
That's a good ball.
Try again, they have been looking after that left-hand side from time to time. The jump there by Mateusz Nunes. Dalot with the pass, spooning it in. South Korea looking for the swift counter-attack, and it might be on. Hwang checking his run. Cho, and that's a good ball. Son getting into a shooting position. That's such an important piece of defending by the youngster, Antonio Silva.
And he's trying to get this crowd up and going, and this was one of the ways that we knew South Korea could pick apart Portugal in transition, and that's really well done, because that initial ball was not on, but he cuts it inside to the two players that were trying to join in the attack, and the first time ball through the channel for Heung-min Son is spot on by Cho.
Corner it is. Lee Kang in to take it. The man who plays for Mallorca in La Liga. Actually, he's left it. Son in the vicinity as well. And difficult ball to strike. That one for the other Lee Jae-sung. They certainly believe that they can do it. And that was a little glimpse of what might be possible for South Korea. Cameroon taking on Brazil later on Fox, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Serbia, Switzerland, FS1. Coverage starting at noon Eastern on that channel.
And one of the areas that Portugal did not perform well against Uruguay was in these first and second balls. And this is the second ball that Lee Kang-in is going in for against Matheus Nunes. He gets the foul. Just quick to it.
You're hearing that chant in the background. Hey, Haninguk, Korea Republic. In comes the free kick. Do they mean business here? It was Lee Kang-in. Nearly. It came off. Cho.
Always the target.
Yeah. Well, swell of pressure, Ali, from South Korea in the last minute or so.
Yeah, and Cho sees it late. Because you get that initial player in front of them that tries to make the play on it, and then it's just too quick for him to react.
The live table, Portugal and Uruguay at the moment. The teams would emerge from this group. Portugal already guaranteed to be in the knockout stages. To win the group, the likelihood is Brazil are going to win that other section that will be concluded tonight, our time. Daytime with you in the United States. Said could be a very significant swing. Would be if South Korea were to score. But were to remain as it is in that Ghana-Uruguay match, which is on FS1 with JP Della Camera and Kirby Jones, your commentators there. Matheus Nunes looking for Cancelo quite a lot, and he in turn tries to find João Mario. Son comes away with it. It's directed pass in the direction of Chul, quite accurate enough. It's been a really interesting tactical battle, this.
And in particular, just where Heung-min Son is having to do the defensive work.
Vitinha, how about that for a pass? Horta completely overcooked it. Still no changes. Still Paulo Bento is on from the stands. Education City Stadium. It's his final game as a player for Portugal. Defeat that they suffered in Incheon against Gus Hiddinck's South Korea. So the Koreans then are in a training camp for a very long time. It's almost a club feel about the proceedings, and now play is going to rage on, and it's Son for South Korea as they try to scurry back. The Portuguese defenders, was he clipped there? Son apparently not. And Pep less than pleased with his opponent, felt he went down a bit too easily.
That play, though, for Son is a glimpse at, I think, how challenging it is for him with that mask on. First, you get the sliding tackle. Yes, Stud's a bit up. They don't call it. But for Son, his head is down when he's dribbling, and it's just really hard for him to see after he beats that first defender where that next defender is.
They've gone past the hour mark on this tension-laden final night in the group. Certainly for South Korea. As for Uruguay and Ghana, although it's slipping away from Ghana, has to be said, given the course of events in the other match. Portugal having done the job in terms of progressing. Want to put an exclamation mark on their work in this section. Vitinha. It's high time he got a game. That's the ideal opportunity, really. Fernando Santos to work him into the lineup. Pep. João Mario. And here's Ruben Neves. They have been looking for that sort of ball, and it's a perfect sort of ball. Cancelo, great control, but didn't initially find a teammate. Porta was waiting. Vitinha's there. Exquisite little chipped ball. And that's what Portugal are capable of. It can be a joy at times. This little fellow can be a joy. Vitinha has it again. Porta making his way through. Play by Kwon.
And that's one of the challenges for that back line of South Korea, is getting your body positioning right for that ball that goes in behind.
Oh, Mario. What can they conjure this time? As though it might end up being something pretty easy on the eye. One is down. Again, Cancelo had gone bursting forward from the left back, but it's been a different sort of interpretation of the left back role. And now we have the changes coming up for Portugal. Palinha will be coming on. Andrés Silva will be coming on, and also Rafael Leao. Remember, scored as a substitute in the first game against Ghana. Hwang Hee-chan will shortly be on for South Korea. 1-1. Fernando Horta opening the scoring. Goal offset by Kim Young-won. An energetic performance by South Korea. Typical superiority of Portugal has come to the fore at times, as you would expect. Ruben Neves. João Mario get towards Ronaldo. Cancelo. Lighted ball in. Dalot. Next stoppage in play. We'll see these changes. 3 for Portugal, 1 for South Korea. That's the end of that move, sadly, from a Portuguese perspective. So here we go now. Here's Nunes. Will have noticed that his number is up. Ronaldo remaining on the pitch for now, though he's just looking over, and I can tell you that will be it for Cristiano Ronaldo. Andrés Silva to take his place. There is Mateus Nunes, and Ruben Neves will be the other player to go off. No, he's not going to equal Eusebio's World Cup records in terms of goals at tournaments for Portugal, not today anyway.
And I think a disappointing performance for him. I mean, one of the reasons that you want to continue playing is to keep that rhythm going for Cristiano Ronaldo. And he had a few looks. This wasn't his night. And it looks to be that this is the way Fernando Santos is going to utilize Leao. He continues to be a second-half substitute that comes in when the opposition is a bit fatigued. And he can stretch his legs.
Moving off slowly there, Ronaldo. Now a spectator. Lee Song has gone off and replaced by Hwang Hee-chan. Now, that'll be an instant impact from Hwang Hee-chan. Can they find a way through? Son with a shot. That's straight at Diogo Costa. Have to be opportunistic in this situation. What a story it would be if South Korea could snatch second place in the group. Check. Uruguay leading 2-0 against Ghana. Weren't denied from the spot. Andre Ayew. Been a chance for 1-0. Was a chance for 1-0. And Uruguay Martian de Arrascaeta with a brace. So Uruguay in second. Likely to face Brazil if they do end up second. Portugal likely to face Switzerland or Serbia. Switzerland have the advantage. Given away by Dalot. And they swarm forward again here. The Koreans, it was hit with real ferocity. Thumped towards goal by Hwang In-beom.
And it's such a good press from South Korea. And it was all triggered by their number 9, Cho. Everyone tied in behind him. They didn't get the reward of a goal.
Dalot to play that longer pass and a bit to catch out the South Korean defence. Andre Silva. 28 goals he scored a couple of seasons ago for Frankfurt. New single-season Bundesliga record for any player. Made the move to Leipzig, struggled a bit last season. Better this term. Well, the goals haven't been flowing for him in the league, contributing in other ways. This was a few seconds ago.
And that's the press that they picked off. That player there was on an acres of space. It was just a poor pass out of the back, and then Hwang just lays this one right on top of Diogo Costa to his relief, because he had a lot of space to get that strike off. But yeah, I expect to see Korea do more of that.
In by João Mario. Pep prepared to attack the ball. They wanted the decision to go their way, South Korea. Their wish has been granted.
And I believe the ref just called offside. Yeah, it looks like it's Pep that's in, a little bit eager to get on the end of this service.
Don't forget, the USA opening up the knockout stages against the Netherlands in the round of 16. It's on Fox tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. And Ali, you and I have seen the Netherlands. We've commentated on all 3 matches so far. What do you think in terms of American prospects?
Winnable.
Yeah, absolutely
Winnable. The only question mark is the relationship that's building between Gakpo and Depay.
See the substitutes, such as Rafael Leão, can make a difference. Certainly did the Ghana game.
And Derek, we've seen from the Netherlands that they haven't been secure in possession out of the back, and I expect the United States to pick their moments to press and try to force some errors out of them.
We'll certainly be watching. And Gianni Infantino will likely be watching. The question is, will he be Dutch or will he be American tomorrow?
He'll be present.
Certainly done the rounds of matches.
This is good. You're seeing with South Korea, they're dropping 4 low. Now that's giving the space higher up for Son to get on it, and they're pushing 3 on that back line of Portugal. They didn't do that much in the first half.
It's Hwang, the substitute, who does like to take the ball for a run. Mazy run here to Pep. He's coming out of his central defensive position. Kim Jin-soo, and Son is there, and a big shout for handball from Son. As he took aim, Cancelo got in the way of that. No movement from the referee, Facundo Tejo, on the pitch. It is a corner for now.
Well, here's a look at just the full volley coming in, and I don't think he's going to get that call. Cancelo tucks his arm into the body. It's well done. It just comes off the side of him as well.
He's taken one for the team.
Yeah, real good defending. But this was all created from the countermeasures that South Korea had in the attack, and I believe it was Jung Woo-young in the center of the park. He regained possession, found the wide player, and then you get that first-time service over, all the way over, all the defense of Portugal, and finding Son at that back post. But Cancelo just closes down quickly enough.
Our expert on refereeing matters, Dr. Joe Matnick, agrees with you, Ali. No question of that being deemed a penalty. Just a bit winded, maybe, Cancelo. It's going to be left to Son to take, to find the head of Chol. From Mario. Did they just overcommit? That set play, we'll see. Rafael Leão for Portugal. Ay, ay, ay. Desperately disappointing.
And sometimes when you're coming off the bench, you want to make your imprint in the game and your eyes get too big, and the break is on for Portugal. Leão has a ton of space, but he's got a player at that back post wide open. 2 arms in the air, because the service, the right service, was a bent ball in behind, and Cristiano does not look happy about his night.
His night ending prematurely. They want to wrap him in cotton wool for the round of 16. Good chance Portugal will face Switzerland or Serbia. And that is going to be a free kick to South Korea. The protestations there. Palinha normally is a fierce tackler. Fulham.
That's a tough challenge. I mean, a tough call. He gets there first, and perhaps it's the follow-through that catches leaking in that the referee decides to blow his whistle on.
He's having a very good season with Fulham.
As is Robinson.
Indeed, US international. Seeing him tomorrow. A mini conference, and of course Son is always involved in these discussions.
Yeah, he's got a moment of brilliance in those boots, but it is a bit far out. We'll see if he goes direct to goal. There's enough space to get it up and over that wall and under the frame, or do they draw something up here? Just shift it a bit, change the angle.
Lee Kang-in as well as Son. Bring over it. Lee Kang-in trying to get it to dip right at the end of its flight, but to no avail. Warm applause from behind the goal.
Could have done better with this one. Goalkeeper on that far post, just trying to catch the near post, but far off the mark.
It's been so tight in this group, between Ghana, South Korea, Uruguay. A balance of play. Don't really think South Korea deserved to lose to Ghana. They'll draw with Uruguay. Yeah, he's here.
That was a disappointment that he picked up his injury right before this team was announced.
Would have been a real enrichment. Jota.
Not that they're lacking any attacking personalities in depth.
No, they're a bit spoiled for choice when it comes to creativity. A little bit more than 15 minutes to go. Portugal would win the group. South Korea would be going home. Things were to stay as they are now. Followed by Pep. Bouncing ball. There's Silva to make the move with that ball at his feet. João Mario. Dalot, and that little touch on. Vitinha. See that red block in place. I mentioned those Be the Red t-shirts from 2002. One of the journalists was telling me earlier, if you have one, they're worth quite a lot of money nowadays.
Do you have one?
I do, but I would never part with it. Sentimental value.
Never say never, Derek.
Never would. Special memories of 2002 and Be the Reds and Day and Minguk. Well, for a wrap-up of all the World Cup highlights, special guests and complete insight. Don't forget about World Cup tonight with Kate Abdo, of course, Mo Edu and Chad Ochocinco. That's nightly at midnight on Fox. Actually saw Chad Ochocinco in the lobby of the hotel for the first time. I know he's been everywhere, and maybe that's why we haven't actually bumped into him. It's nice to see him.
I've seen him a fair amount.
Okay.
Got to get more social, Derek.
I think I'm pretty social. Here's Horta, the Portuguese goal scorer, seems like an eternity ago now. Dalot going around the outside. That's finally cleared by Kim Jin-soo. Towards Cho, and that was always going to be a free kick. Position going against Portugal, but this was just seconds ago. Dalot.
Yeah, and only committing 5 to this counter-attack. They're going to leave 5 behind it, and that means Korea can leave more players in advanced positions as well for transition if in cases Portugal doesn't finish their attack, as they don't in this situation. Dalot just slides that one across the 6-yard box, and that's the risk that South Korea is going to have to begin to take, and that's leaving Son above it. They've been leaving Cho above it, but can you leave another number to be a bit more dangerous in transition as they push for that go-ahead goal?
João Mario neat and tidy. André Silva. Cancelo was free on the left, but they weren't looking left. Stay right. André Silva. Finally, Kim to grab hold of it. Player I enjoy watching. Prepared Hulsenbein. André Silva did before making the move to Leipzig.
A couple times now, Kim Young-won has been down on the pitch. This is the player that came in for their leader in Kim Min-jae that was out injured. So already thin at the center back position.
Equalizer earlier, looking at Sergio Costa. Carlo Bento able to do his usual job from the technical area. Still trying to be involved if he can. It must be mighty frustrating having gone this far with the national team. Have to be.
Aren't they always sending messages anyways? Yeah, and you just get that different perspective from up above. Sometimes it gives you a better tactical understanding of how things are unfolding.
Chaves de Primeira, one of the banners there. A pleasant part of Portugal. Now changes afoot for South Korea. See Kwang come on, one of the substitutes. Song Jun-ho as well. Kwang Ui-jo. Back on his feet, Kim Young-won. Is of the essence here for South Korea. Be prepared to gamble perhaps as well. 1-1 is not going to help them, was never going to assist them.
Yeah, and we'll see if Hwang Ui-jo coming on actually puts them in a double 9, or if they do swap out Cho. I'd be hard-pressed to believe that you take out your leading goal scorer with Cho.
5 table. Portugal set to win the group. Uruguay poised to finish second and probably face Brazil. That will be confirmed tonight. The late matches. Brazil taking on Cameroon. Switzerland facing Serbia.
That's going to be a good one.
Kenya. Interesting pass, a useful one for André Silva. Rafael Leão. Put it away, but out it comes. Just quite happy to hit it with force. Linha there. Portugal set to make changes as well. William Carvalho and Bernardo Silva. The players coming on, but first these Korean switches. As we said, it's Son Jun-ho and Kwang Ui-jo. Lee Kang-in and the injured Kim Young-won making their way off. It is Bernardo Silva. 16 is the number up. Vitinha says goodbye to this match. And William Carvalho, often a favourite of Fernando Santos, is on as well. João Mario has departed the scene. Stamped forward by Kim Jin-soo. 1 goal for South Korea. Who knows? might be good enough. As things stand, it would be. Confirming all the substitutions for you. Used to be a lot simpler in the old days of maximum three changes, Ali, in your playing days.
It certainly did. I don't think they care about that, though.
No.
Especially with all the added time that we've seen in all these matches. Important to be able to utilize rotation.
Given a good account of themselves, South Korea have played at times, but they never outworked by Portugal. Rafael Leao had got himself into that advanced position. Cho, Peter contoured his body. In pursuit of the ball was Hwang Ui-jo. Well, they substitutes. Put forward by Kwon. Play by Silva that time for Portugal. Hwang Hee-chan has the back, but taken away there by William Carvalho illegally. A man they call the Velvet Tank. I think it's a terrible nickname to have bestowed upon you, but somebody thinks you have dual capabilities. Seven minutes left. No stoppage time. South Korea could shoot up that table, and would with a goal. It's been 2-0 to Uruguay in the other game for a long time now, but things look rather grim for Ghana, even though South Korea are below Ghana that table. It's a more hopeful situation for the Koreans. Hwang was up there, but nothing doing. Try again. Hwang the substitute. Away by Dalot. Wasn't too particular about where he sent the ball. Hwang In-beom, midfield player for this game in midfield. Side Jung. Very diligent workers. Was dropped back after that last change and missing out the midfield area. Again, Hwang Ui-jo pursuing it, but through to Diogo Costa.
And it looks like with that change for South Korea, Son is coming to more of a 10 spot. Cho now doing the work in that wide wing area.
So again, Hee Han-min-kuk is the cry. Korea Republic. What can they pull out of the fire here with Cho, as you mentioned, Ali, in that slightly different position. Son sometimes coming through the middle. We know they're going to put in the work, these Korean players. They try to winkle a win out of this.
And that face of Cancelo says it all. Just under duress with the counter press from South Korea. Last one, they didn't run Cho to that near post. He instead went into the middle of the six.
Son with the corner. Cho was in there. Couldn't get all that much force and accuracy on the header. Forwards. Hey, Cancelo for Portugal. Looking a little bit ragged defensively here, South Korea, but nothing comes of it. Will be a corner, though. The final 5 minutes of normal time. Goals after 5 and 27 minutes. Ricardo Horta for Portugal. Kim Young-won for South Korea. Enjoyable match this has been, from a neutral point of view. So hanging in the balance for South Korea. They've had the edge in terms of corners, but Portuguese one here, which Horta is poised to take. The Pep, as you would expect, up from the back. Nobody to play it forward to from a South Korean point of view. Want to get that ball back in play quickly whenever they can.
Yeah, and you've got to press if you're South Korea. That's better from Portugal, just picking up the first and the second.
It's Kim Bun-Hwan. Just slide it along the right-hand touchline. Up towards Wang Ui-Chul. Illegal play there. Son Jun-ho, there are the substitutes. Portugal really wanted the third successive win in this group stage. They might have to settle for a draw, we'll see, but the fact is nobody remembers how you moved on to the round of 16. In this case, ideal for Portugal to be able to win the group. Stay away from Brazil if it does come to that, as it should. The illegal challenge by Diogo Dalot.
And Wang Hee-chan has been bright since entering. Good ball carrier, gets away from the first challenge and then draws the second.
Don't forget, it's the USA against the Netherlands in the round of 16 opening match on Fox tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Here's Son for South Korea. And to William Carvalho, that's why he's on the pitch, doing the ball winning.
But that's another example of Son's head being down and not being able just to play a quick little combination. So used to seeing him just play off of Harry Kane with Tottenham.
Not a great deal of urgency here from Portugal. Bernardo Silva just slowing it down.
Well, we talked about the lack of game management from a Portuguese perspective in the first two games. When they let phases get away from them, I think it's been rather controlled.
Rafael Leão. No joy there. All the players standing guard for South Korea. I think to look on as Portugal steer it around. Alinha with that pass for the Portuguese. William Carvalho. Diogo Dalot. Back again to Carvalho. Remember, this game was a fair bit ahead of the other match in terms of starting the second half.
Look at Son on the far side, just creeping up a bit. And if they can release him, win the ball on this near-hand side, that's the play that's on. Goes to ground. Thought it was going to be a handball. In fact, just pings off the head of Zhu Yong.
See if Portugal can grab a late goal here. They have been using Cancelo almost as an extra attacker at times. Corner it'll be.
And that's the benefit of having João Cancelo on your team. Looks like a winger when he takes on. Always has eyes for goal. Can pick across.
Well, there we have the answer to the stoppage time question. 6. This is going to be beaten ahead of the other match. South Korea need a goal. Well, ploughing a lone furrow here is Son, waiting for the cavalry to arrive. What can he do? Trying to use all his guile and experience. It's a splendid ball! It's a brilliant goal for South Korea! Wang Hee-chan plays the role of super sub to perfection. And the Korean dream is very much alive. What a World Cup moment we have just witnessed.
and it comes off of their own defensive corner. Son now in acres of green, and he's just driving forward. You said it, Cavalry's looking to arrive, and he's looking for help because 3 defenders are bearing down on him. He holds it up just long enough, and the timing of this pass is essential. The run from Wong is the diagonal. That gives him the angle then, just delayed in a bit of space, and it goes right through the legs of one of the Portuguese defenders. Looks like it's Dalot, the player providing the assist on the opening goal for Portugal. Well, he just gets done there, and Wong does the rest. What a calm finish. Sliding this one past Diogo Costa, coming off his line to bear down on it, make that difficult. And a stoic strike at that.
Will it be the goal that takes South Korea into the knockout stages? We kept saying it, one goal can change everything. Dae Han-min-guk, the constant second half cry, a muscular performance by South Korea.
And what a difference he has made since coming on.
Well, they've made another change with Cho, the other Cho, now on the pitch. Cho Yamin is on, and Portugal are trailing here. Still stand to win the group, but South Korea would overtake Uruguay. But now they've got to make sure they batten down the hatches. How heartbreaking would it be if the Koreans were to concede at this late juncture?
Well, we saw it with Costa Rica yesterday against Germany when they got that go-ahead goal, and then they conceded within moments. This is when you point to each other, you say focus, roles and responsibilities, take care of your job.
Tension until the end. And that news will have filtered through to the other game. There's the palpable tension. They did start the second half much later than we did here, so it's going to be an anxious wait in all likelihood. But South Korea hold the cards.
And here it is again. Just such a good look at the movement. Son attracts 3 defenders. That provides the space for Hwang Hee-chan to just glance inside. He stays in an onside position and gets the step. And the rest is history.
Celebrations wherever you look from South Korea. Tears of joy. A beautiful Korean moment. Hwang Hee-chan has etched his name in Korean folklore. No two ways about that. Remember, Uruguay have the power to change it in their game. Not that the South Korea fans have any interest in hearing about any news on that front. They believe, and they have done throughout. Portugal and South Korea in that order. South Korea could be Brazil's opponents. We won't know that until later. We don't know at the moment if South Korea are coming out of this group, but my goodness, they've given themselves a wonderful chance, and Portugal could lose this match on the cusp of doing so. It's ebbing away here. Pure goosebumps.
And you talked about the tactical matchup that was occurring between these two sides, and South Korea needing that go-ahead goal. They just stayed the course. Made it difficult for Portugal to break them down. Yes, they risked a bit higher positioning of Son. They brought in some subs to change the game, Hwang being one of them, of course. But there were always moments against Cristiano Ronaldo and this Portugal team that South Korea was creating some joy.
Will there be time for one last Portuguese attack? Almost been easing their way through the latter part of the game. Son, well, he is experienced, just wanted to head over towards the touchline. All eyes on the referee. On with the game, he says, for now. I will be sending you to the other match because that is going to be highly dramatic. Edge of the seat theatre. Goodness me. Put away by Jung. Now going to have 8 minutes of added time in the other match. A minimum thereof. South Korea have done their bit. Awe-inspiring. The dramatic winner from the substitute, Hwang Hee-chan. As things stand, South Korea would be going through, but it could change. Let's take you to Ghana against Uruguay. JP Della Camera and Kobe Jones.
We welcome those who are watching the other game between South Korea and Portugal, with South Korea surprising everyone. Surprising Uruguay here in this game, Colby, and their fans as well, who were well aware of that score and what it does to the standings in the round of 16 implications. Ball is played into the box area. Uruguay looking for one. That's headed away. They need a goal to advance on goal diff. Ghana coming back at the other end. Bakari drops it off. Kudus turning, and the flag went up. Semenya was looking for the goal.
Well, the energy and the sense of urgency has completely shifted within this match with the result from the other game. It's end to end now.
Into space. Oh! Referee says no. Cavani says yes. Third minute of stoppage time. Take another look.
Well, Cavani's coming in. He's coming from that outside angle, and there's the push and the shove. No, that's not a penalty. And Cavani makes a whole lot more of it than it really is.
It's off Varela. Referee has stopped play. Canobio will put it back into play. Look at Suarez leading things from the bench. Needs urgency. They need a goal.
All it takes is one for this Uruguay side, and they've looked dangerous when they get that ball wide and get numbers into the box. Ghana has been a little bit shaky in the back.
Headed up. Cleared out. Uruguay has to contest for every ball. Into the box it comes, and that's an easy play for Atizigi. They're even on points. They are even on the goal differential. So goals scored is the next tiebreaker, and that's where Uruguay is going to need one to advance. Here in the 4th minute of stoppage time.
And Ghana still hoping to try to find a way to get at least one on the board and work with whatever's time's left to look for the second.
Baba Rahman has it blocked. It stays in the field of play. Baba Rahman's cross. Semenyo leaves it. Quick shot is blocked. Settled. Partey cuts, looks in front. Semenyo, he goes down. No call there either, and it's cleared upfield. 3-on-3 on the break. Uruguay looking into the middle. Gomez. Maxi. Shot taken. Save. Corner.
And what a save from Atizigi, because if that one just comes up a little bit short, that goes right into the feet of Cavani.
It's a quick short corner that Uruguay took. End line. Looking to turn it back. And it was lost out. It's Ghana's throw-in. That will hurt Uruguay. Here's Maxi's long-distance shot.
Yeah, Maxi Gomez just tees it up. No one steps up to it, but look at that touch just to push it wide. Parries it out. And you couldn't see it there, but Cavani was standing right there for any rebound. So a fantastic save from Ziggy in goal.
This result stands. Portugal still wins that group, but South Korea will advance as the runner-up. Ball coming back the other way. Halfway line area. Kudus pushing it wide. Look at how many players have to scramble back from Uruguay. They were going upfield. Shot taken to save by Roche. Otherwise, Uruguay's hopes end right there. It's held up. Ramon lost it there. Canovio going the other way. 6th minute of stoppage time. Fight to the finish here. Uruguay needing a goal. Don't get it that way. Ramon. Oh, gave it away right there in the circle.
There's some players open. Some tired bodies mentally and physically. Just all the way around, these players are exhausted.
Ball played in. Cavani played it across, and it's wide. Appeals for deflection, which would be a corner. And Uruguay's upset.
And this ball comes around. Nope, that's the right call. That's a goal kick. But Cavani just looking to try to just slide this one home.
This game's had everything, hasn't it? That missed penalty by Andre Ayew in the first half. There was an appeal for a penalty in the second half that Uruguay thought they were going to get. They didn't. And they find themselves perhaps a goal short in trying to advance.
Yeah, and that's just, you know, when you look at this game and the way it all goes, it's such frustration, so many issues. You know, the substitutions that are made, you have to look, were those substitutions made too early? You have Suarez out. That was such a factor in Uruguay getting the 2 goals with this shot that ends up for one of the goals, and then an assist on one of the goals. There has to be frustration.
Kudos leaves. Isahaku comes in. We're in the 8th minute of stoppage time. Uruguay right now 1 goal short. Portugal would win the group. South Korea would advance as the 2nd place team. For Uruguay, got to get it upfield quickly. It goes back instead to Roche. Pressure on him. Up the middle it comes. Varela, long ball. Try for Cavani, but it bounces right to goal.
And you have to wonder in this if Ghana will be content in the fact that they could play spoilers for Uruguay going on. It's going to be very unlikely that Ghana gets through and gets the points necessary in this match to go forward and go beyond.
Right at the end line, it was lost. Waiting for that signal. Rule the goal kick, so not much time left. We're past the 8 minutes. They made another sub there. Some more time added on. It's a bad place to foul. You're going to give Uruguay a chance here with Maxi Gomez taken down and a yellow card issued as well. Saidu. More importantly, what could be one of the last kicks of this game and of this World Cup for Uruguay will take place now from about 26, 27 yards away. He may only have 1 good look left, Kobe.
Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be the last touch of the game. So imagine that this is going to be a direct. De La Cruz is standing over it.
Varela's behind him. River Plate's De La Cruz is ready. Let's call it 26 yards out. Versus Ati Ziggy in goal. De La Cruz ready to strike. Shot taken right at goal. Right at goal. Ati Ziggy will take some time off the clock. That will do it. Uruguay are out. They've played a good game. A 2-0 victory for them, but it ends in tears for Suarez and company. 2-0 Uruguay. That means Portugal will win Group H. South Korea finished as runners-up, and some angry players at the end of the game. And more yellow cards